Hey drone nerds, it's Matt. I'm out at the farm today with Julian. We've got the new DJI Agras T50 with us. Now we're going to show you how to do a mapping mission with the T50 as well as a spraying mission. Let's get right into it.
Today we're going to do a mapping mission. We're going to create an HD map with the T50. Before we start, we need to get on with the pre-flight check. To start with the process, we're going to unfold our propellers. I'm going to make sure they're locked in place. Remember, always unfold the back motors or the back arms, then the front. Lock them in place. Now, another piece of that pre-flight check is you want to check that your props are nice and secure. This is fine, but you don't want any play in the vertical axis, so you're just gonna move them, make sure they're nice and secure. You want to unfold the props before takeoff. All right, we're gonna check for any connections, anything that should be in place. So our pumps, our main lines, everything is connected, nothing is hanging loose. We're gonna move on to install our battery. You want to check the battery status by pressing the button on the top, and then you slide the battery right on that compartment and make sure it clicks when it's nice and down. Now we're gonna move to the remote control. We're gonna create our mission. We're gonna set our parameters, our altitude, our area for the mapping. So now we have our RC on. We're gonna go right into our Agras application. We're gonna turn on our aircraft so we have a connection. Okay. So it should be a couple of seconds. We'll get aircraft connected on a remote. There it is. So we're gonna open our DJI Smart Farm app. Real quick is that now the interface was changed a little bit. Some of the icons that were up here, especially to do the device management and the logs upload in case of a warranty claim or anything, were moved to the bottom here, as you can see. So you have access to your logs, easy, your device management, which in this case, it just you have an easy access to everything about all the devices that are connected to the aircraft and the remote. So whether it's your relay, your DRTK mobile station, your aircraft, your controller, and then you also have the device health management. We're gonna close this, and then you're gonna go to begin.
Fasten all arm locks securely to prevent potential safety risks.
In order to do your mapping, you need to have RTK enabled. So in order to go in there, you go to settings. We are using a custom network connection. While we wait for that to happen, on the top left where you see that M, you press that, it will bring you over to your task mode. So you select what you're going to do. In this case, we're going to start with route mapping. We're going to create our HD map. These are based on Google Maps, but we want to create an up-to-date HD map of the area that you're going to be spraying later. So in order to do that, you press add.
Recording points with crosshair.
On your left, you're going to see that what exactly is it that you're doing. So either you are doing a boundary route or an area route, and what kind of resolution you want. Today we're going to try to do a high resolution for our field. We're going to close this over, and then we're going to start adding points. Now to add those points, you have this option right here. Either you can, what I'm going to do, just so you can see it on the screen, you see that blue dot moving with the remote. That's like the orientation of the remote. Now you can either add points, but recording the points as you heard on the prompts, you can use the aircraft, you can actually fly it.
Recording points with RTK positioning of aircraft.
Correct, and then you can do it by crosshair.
Recording points with crosshair.
Now,
Low accuracy.
all you have to do
Actual flight routes may not
is
be
move the
exactly the same
crosshair
as planned.
to the points, and there's either you can press add,
Waypoint added.
or you can there's an option on the remote which is your L1 physical button on your left. You'll see it. So you press L1 and you add another waypoint. So all you have to do is just drag your crosshair
Waypoint added.
to the closest point of that area that you want to map,
Waypoint added.
and you add your perimeter, I should say. So once you create
Waypoint added.
that route, or the area that you're going to map, then all you have to do is just check your start and end points, if whether your lines, you're okay with that. You can also use this toggle right here, and then you can just move the direction of your route. So for example, if I want to do something like this, I want to be away from the trees on my left, so I'm going to have the drone fly in this direction. Once you're satisfied with your map or your area, then you click save, you name it. In this case we're going to name it Family Farms, just for today's exercise. You're going to save it, and then if you see on the top right, you'll see the area that you're covering, which in this case is a little over half an acre. Estimated photo count, which is 31 images, and the flight is going to take roughly about 1 minute to complete. We need to, let's see what's going on with our RTK. I guess we're going to need to restart our aircraft just to make sure our RTK antennas refresh.
Restore to RTK mode.
Oh, there you go. So for some reason just needed to leave it a few minutes to get that nice and solid connection, that fixed connection. So we're good, and we are
Recording points with crosshair. Low
I
accuracy.
just want to check everything
Actual
again.
flight route may not be exactly
Our
the same
field
as planned.
looks okay. We're gonna save it, and we're ready to go. So ready to send the drone. Now, part of that pre-flight checklist when you're doing a route mapping mission with the T50 and with any other of the T40 and the T30s, T25 in this case, then the other version, is that you're gonna do your mapping with an empty tank. You don't want to fly with a load on the tank. That's because depending on the size of your mapping, you're just wasting that energy carrying all that weight. For a mapping mission, you fly with an empty tank. But once the system checks itself and everything is good to go, then pretty much all you have to do is just press start. It's going to send, the remote is going to send the mission to the drone. Once you check your return to home parameters and everything, then you can just press start and you're ready to go. Now another thing is, as you can see in this message, once you press start, it detects that there is an obstacle detected. Now in this case is me and my friend Matt. We are standing too close to the drone. That's why you have the radars. The radars will detect either a human or an obstacle in the way, and it's telling you, well, once you know you're clear, you can press confirm. The drone is going to arm, it's going to take off, and it's going to start doing the task. But we're going to cancel, we're going to move ourselves to a safe position. We're going to move our equipment to a safe position, and then we're going to let it go. So now that we moved out of the way, we make sure there's no obstacles around. We're going to press start. It is asking us because right now it's in front of all the vegetation, so it's probably seeing that as an obstacle, but we're going to confirm that we're clear to take off. The aircraft is going to arm. gonna upload. So now we check our return to home altitude and speed. What's gonna happen once it's complete, it's gonna return to home and land. And then if we slide to execute, it's going to arm.
Aircraft preparing to take off. Stand back at a safe distance. Start task.
As you can see on the screen, now it's taking those images and it's updating in real time my screen with an updated map of the area that I just presented. So the task is done. It's going to return
Task complete.
for landing.
Aircraft returning to home.
I'm gonna be in the controls just in case, but with RTK enabled, it should be pretty precise on that landing spot. Perfect. So now you see the progress going on the top right. It says progress. It's trying to stitch those images and it's going to give us a high definition reconstruction of that field. So reconstruction successful. We press OK, and now as you can see, it presents two other options. So either route planning, if we're going to do another plan, or in this case we're going to ask the system to identify the field. So now that we have that high definition imagery, that map is correct. So I'm going to select my area and I'm going to do a route planning for my spraying. So
Recording points with crosshair.
we're going to do the same. We're going to add waypoints. We're going to create our area for mapping based on those high detail images that we just got. So press 1,
Waypoint
L1, and then
Waypoint
create
added.
those waypoints. In this case, we're going to go all the way here.
Waypoint added.
We're going to go here. We're going to go all the way here
Waypoint added.
and all the way here to the front.
Waypoint added.
Okay. Okay. So now that's the most efficient route determined by the system itself to cover that area. But if you want to go along with the crop lines, you should be able to move the direction. Come on, there you go, of that spraying pattern. So in this case, we're going to go this way. It might take a little bit longer, but this way we are ensuring that our spraying path it goes along the lines of the crop field. So now on the left, I'll just move this out of the way. So you have your route spacing, which you can optimize for the lines that you're trying to spray. In this case, we're not too concerned about that. We just want to make sure we're going to cover the entire field. This is fine for us for today's task. Our start point seems a good place. It's right in front of the drone, so we're okay. We can check at our advanced settings. So Either we're doing a route only or just our boundary, so you have plenty of settings depending on your application. We are good for today, and we are going to save this field. Now we're going to name this Family Farms again. So now we have a route for spraying. You can divide the field into multiple pieces if you need to. That's for bigger areas that you want to cover in one tank. You don't want to, for some reason you don't want to stop the mission halfway because the tank was empty. So, and you want to divide the field into smaller fields, so you can just do that section per tank. So that's one way to do it if you want to. When you're ready to go, on the top right again you'll see the task area that you're covering, so a little bit over half an acre. Again, we're going to be using 2.2 gallons of liquid. When you're good to go, you press use, then you are presented with your application rate, so how much liquid you're going to spend. You can change your droplet size, so very coarse, we're going to use this so we can see it on our video. Not necessarily the best application, it depends on your preferences or your application. Flight speed, we usually leave it at the default. That's based on your route. The system tries to use the flight speed as the most efficient one in terms of battery lifetime or liquid left in the tank. We have our height, so you can change how high you want to be over your spraying field. So in this case, we're going to be a little bit closer to our field. This all depends. It is using all those radars to detect the ground, and it can actually determine how the altitude above your field. So I'm just going to leave it at 9 feet. And route spacing, we are okay with this as well as the default. We don't want to change that. Our offsets are okay. Once you're comfortable with your settings, you know your amount, all you have to do is just press start and you're good to go. What we need right now is, before we send the drone, we're going to actually pour our liquid in our tank, then we can start the task. Now we're ready to pour our liquid in our tank. Now for today's demonstration, we're using the still water, so we're not spraying any type of chemicals. We're just trying to show what the drone can do when it's spraying liquid. Now, as you saw me earlier, I pulled the filter, so just make sure you have the filter, so any type of residue gets caught right there before it actually goes into the pumps. Nice and secure. Okay, I just want to confirm visually that we do have the same amount. Yep, so that's about 14 liters, 14 liters, so that's about the amount that we just poured in. We will confirm in our remote. Perfect, so 4 gallons. We have an exact measurement, so we don't have to calibrate our weight sensors for the drone. It actually comes pre-calibrated. It's actually detecting exactly 4 gallons of water that we just dumped in, so we are good to go. One more thing, part of that pre-flight check, being your first flight, you need to make sure the lines are clear of any air. In order to do that, you go to your settings on the top right, you go to your spraying system parameters, you scroll to the bottom, and you'll see that it says clear trapped air. So all you have to do is just press start. You will see the system pumping some liquid and then making sure there's no air trapped in the lines. So once you're good with that, then now we are ready to go. We're gonna have the spraying system on. Everything looks good. The GNSS signals, our return to home altitudes in case it triggers 19 feet, that's okay. Our speed it's perfect, and we're ready to execute. So we slide to execute. The drone will arm itself
Aircraft preparing to take off.
and will take off.
Stand back at a safe distance.
Whoa. Now our mission is about to complete. It's gonna stop right there. It's gonna enter return to home.
Aircraft returning to home. Task complete.
And we have successfully completed a spraying task.
Well, thank you so much, Julian, for that in-depth demo of the Agras T50.
You're welcome, Matt.
If you guys have any questions, you can put those down in the comments. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. My name is Matt. This is Julian. Happy flying.